Jaguars fans, welcome back into the fan cave. Man, if you were to try to predict a way for the 2021 NFL season to end, was this going to be it? I mean, after we lost the Jets game, I had written off the season. I was okay. We're going to go 2-15. We're going to suck, but we managed to knock out a division rival out of the playoffs, and we still ended up with the number one overall pick. This was a wins win. Everything went right for the Jaguars last Sunday. Now, I want to ask the one and only Mr. T-Law, Trevor Lawrence, how did that game make you feel?
How about them Jags?
Jaguars fans, you deserved that. You deserved that for after the entire way, the entire terrible, just bad season these guys have had. And you were able to enjoy all 60 minutes of that game, all of that victory, and zero consequence. That was the biggest thing in my eyes, was what's going to happen if we lose the number one overall pick. That changes things up potentially. If Neal slides up to the front, we want Neal. If we want Hutchinson's, Thibodeau, whatever. It changes, but no consequences. And when I say this was an everything goes right game, I couldn't say that enough. Trevor Lawrence had the game we've all been waiting for him to have. I feel like I would come on here like weeks 1 through 12, and I was like, when's he going to have the game? When's he going to have the game? Well, this was that game. His opening drive was, I believe, 9 for 9, over 100 yards and a score. That is exactly that's like Herbert-esque. That's Burrow-esque, Mahomes-esque. That is what, for him to finish 23 of 32 with 6 drops and for 223 and 2 scores, that game could have been a lot worse if the Jaguars had some competent receivers. It was a game that seemed to legitimately have everything go right, especially on the offensive side of the ball. They pretty much did what they wanted to at will for at the time a 2-win team. They were doing everything they wanted. Now, when I say everything went right except this wide receiver core. It's abysmal. Laquan Treadwell's really stepped up this year. He's really stepped up. Tavon Austin's, he's had just miscues in the wrong spot, run the wrong route. Marvin Jones has been a drop machine. Yes, he had 70 catches. Laviska Shenault's looking like a scrub. It's just Dan Arnold. For the 5 weeks we had him, it was nice. DJ Chark had 2 touchdowns before he got injured. And the Jaguars receiving corps is going to finish the year with 39 drops per Mike Duraco and ESPN Stats and Info. So, 39 drops is not good. That's a league-leading drops. I've seen some as low as 21, but I think we all know it is not 21. Maybe 21 since the bye week, because from start to finish, it has been drop city. So it's been just a miserable attempt at playing wide receiver for anyone in a Jaguars uniform, in my opinion. Now, James Robinson, obviously out with the torn Achilles. ETN's gone with the Liz Frank all year. It was a running back by committee. 4 different running backs, or 4 different rushers touched the ball this week. Trevor got 10 carries. I believe there was a couple where it was a read option. He took it and got that first down. I believe there was a quarterback sneak. Trevor did a lot in this game. Trevor, if you throw Mike Glennon in there, you throw Jake Luton, the miserable quarterbacks that we've had in the past, they don't win that game, I don't think, with this abysmal receiving corps. But Trevor Lawrence is that dog. He is that man. He won us this game. Man, Trevor, and as much pain as Marvin Jones gives all of you guys watching him play, he played to his expectations. He was a number 2 in Detroit. I know at the beginning of the year I was trying to hype myself up, think he was a number 1. He's not. He's now a journeyman. This is his 3rd team. He's a journeyman wide receiver. But at the end of the day, still went 7 for 88 in that incredible catch in the 4th quarter. Toe drag swag. Trevor bobbles the snap. It's high snap. He's rolling out, throws it up there. Whew, thing of beauty. Chef's kiss right there. Laviska Shenault, as much as I bag on the guy, he played well. He had his drops, it seems to have every week. But overall, he played well. I'm going to keep bagging on the receiving corps, but Laquan Treadwell, if he catches that, oh my goodness, that's on ESPN top 10. That is everything. He just couldn't hold it through the ground. That would have been a huge catch. That's a momentum builder for this team, man. I would have been all over that. I would have, that was a hell of an opportunity, and unfortunately, it was dropped. Now, Walker Little is putting this team in a very uncomfortable position. This is the second week in a row. I believe he's allowed one or less pressures. I think he had one this week, none last week. So he's putting this offensive line in a very weird position. We have a franchise tagged left tackle. We have a right tackle that doesn't want to go to guard. That's not good enough to play right tackle. And, he's said this year he's comfortable at right tackle, and Walker Little has, because he's been practicing it throughout the majority of the season. So that's a heck of a situation to put yourself in, because you now have somebody that's going to want premier left tackle money in Cam Robinson. I'm not expecting anything less than that. And then you have Walker Little, who is, young, and he doesn't have much game experience, but man, it's going to be a hell of a thing to dive into in this offseason. What is going to happen with this offensive line? They had the one sack at the beginning of the game from the interior pressure, but overall they had no pressure on Trevor Lawrence outside of very early in the game. So, but speaking of offensive line giving up pressures, this defensive line got after him. 6 sacks. I'm gonna count them off. Here we go. Josh Allen, 2. Damian Wilson had the sack fumble. Knocked it. He hit him so hard. Knocked the ball straight out of his hands. Loved that. I keep telling people, you're going to leave Damian Wilson a free shot at your quarterback. He is going to kill him. And that is exactly what Damian Wilson did to Carson Wentz. Knocked the crap out of him. Ball comes out. Daniel Thomas got a sack. Malcolm Brown, sack. Duwan Smoot, who has been an incredible player on this defensive line this year, he got 6 sacks for this Jaguars defensive line that has struggled to get any amount of pressure on anyone, honestly. Damian Wilson, by far, you want to look at who had the best performance of this game. I would listen to an argument saying Damian Wilson had the best performance of the entire game. Obviously, Trevor played incredibly well. Damian Wilson was playing like a man with his hair on fire, and he was ready to do some bad things to the Indianapolis Colts. That sack fumble, I think he was second in total tackles on the team, and he also had the interception. I believe it was his first career interception. Man was playing with his hair on fire, and I love it. If you want to look at the things that this front office has done well, bringing in Damian Wilson and trading Joe Schobert was a hell of a thing, and I'm here for it. I love it, and I'm happy to see it. So I'm excited to see what next year holds with this linebacker core and this front seven in general. The entire team played well, in my opinion. I'm not going to be negative anymore. I promise. It was an incredible send-off. It was a way to put a bad season behind us, and it puts an entirely different taste in my mouth, I hope in your mouth, about what went on this season. Obviously, we still want Trent Baalke blasted into the sun. I'm really starting to warm up to Byron Leftwich. I know a lot of people want head coaching experience, but I am in love with Byron Leftwich, not just because of the Jacksonville ties, but because I've been following him since he was in Arizona as the quarterbacks coach. Bruce Arians would stand at a press conference and go, he's going to be an NFL head coach one day. He gets drugged with him. Or I don't even say drug. He goes with Bruce Arians to Tampa, and Jameis Winston was putting up crazy numbers. Maybe if he could see, he wouldn't have the interceptions. But I'm all about Byron Leftwich. But that's for another episode. It puts an entirely different taste in our mouth, and we can move forward with the offseason without having this just nasty taste in our mouth. Because imagine if we had the 50-10 loss to the Patriots to hang our hat on the end of the season. We get waxed in the end of the season. That would have sucked. But we didn't. We came out, we kicked the crap out of the Indianapolis Colts, knocked them out of the playoffs, and man, did it feel good. Whew. I've got a lot of stuff coming up for the offseason, guys. I hope you stick around. If this is the first time checking out a Fan Cave video, be sure to hit that like button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're not here as well. I usually like to do some giveaways building up to the draft to really get that Jags momentum hype and just get all of us excited and ready to go for a brand new season of Jacksonville Jaguars summer training and then also into the regular season. So, hey, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and go Jaguars.